Naruto, Reborn Prodigy, Master of all Ninjutsu. Episode 81. Uzumaki Kwanjyo took a deep breath and endured his tears not to fall. Because she's an adult. The teenager in front of her was so strong, how could she cry? Tears swirled in his eyes, and everything in front of him began to blur. I believe in you. I believe that you can rebuild the Vortex clan. For this goal, Xiangfos and I will definitely try to cooperate with you. What you need us to do, we will do. Although Naruto's soul is not a person of this world, his feelings for the Uzumaki clan are actually not so deep. However, looking at the emotional appearance of the woman in front of him, he seemed to feel a hint of blood. Rebuilding the Uzumaki family, just because since he has become Uzumaki Naruto, of course, he has to make up for those regrets. For the sense of belonging to home, Naruto did not have it. After all, this is not his true birthplace. But now it seems. Rebuilding the Vortex family seems to give hope to many. At least for those who are still alive in the Uzumaki clan. He showed a boyish smile, just like the sun shining. I don't need you to do anything for the time being, the only thing you need to do is to live well, so now you have to get out of here first. Well, we'll all listen to you. Xiangfeng on the side did not quite understand why her mother suddenly agreed, but she was very happy. She asked in a low voice, Brother Naruto, can we always be together in the future? Of course. Naruto smiled. Xiangfos's little face was slightly red, and he was particularly happy. How good it is to be able to be with Naruto's brother all the time in the future. The distance from here to Kusanagi village is not close, they won't catch up for the time being, but it's hard to say, and now I have to go back to Kusanagi village. Naruto said as he walked. Uzumaki Chuanjo greeted him worriedly, then I will go with you with Xiangfos. No need, you follow me, it will only hinder me, I will leave a doppelganger down, take you to a safe place, and when I deal with the affairs of Kusanagi village, I will naturally come to you. Although Uzumaki Izumi wanted to insist, but seeing Naruto's attitude, she knew that she couldn't go with him. Just as Naruto said. She and Xiangfos would only be a burden to him, as they had been in the hospital before. Although she was unconscious at the time, she saw her daughter being blackmailed, and Naruto had to take them away. Then you must come back safely. Uzumaki Chuanjo was like worrying about his own relatives. Naruto smiled, I'll be fine. According to his current strength, even if he couldn't destroy the entire Kusanagi village, those people in the Kusanagi village would want to kill him. A doppelganger left with the mother and daughter, while his body returned to Kusanagi village. On his way back, Ruichina Maeda had already learned that Kakato's mother and daughter had been taken away. Moreover, the people who took Kakashi's mother and daughter were the same people who traveled with Kakashi. That blonde boy. With a bang, Maeda slammed the table heavily and said angrily, I knew these people had bad intentions. Didn't I ask you to look at a few of them? Why, there is still a chance to do it. One of his subordinates immediately explained, I think the blonde boy with Kakashi and them should be just a shadow avatar, but what we didn't expect was that this teenager's shadow avatar could be fake and real. Just by looking at it, it couldn't be found at all. It can break through from so many ninjas, of course, it is not an ordinary person. Takashi Maeda's hands trembled with anger. He had been guarding against it, but he didn't expect to stop it in the end. With a wave of his big hand, Maeda Ryuichi walked forward with full anger on his face. Now that Kakashi is still in Kusanagi village, I want to see how this Kakashi is going to explain it to me. The person who dares to touch my Kusanagi village, I don't care what kind of copy ninja he is. The other ninjas followed behind Ryuichi Maeda. They were going to find Kakashi and the others. It was late at night, and Kakashi and the others had already fallen asleep. Naruto's shadow doppelganger lay in his room instead of Naruto, and everything seemed extremely normal. Until there was a sharp knock outside the door. Kakashi's room was closest to the stairs and was naturally the first to knock on his door. He doesn't sleep deeply, and even the slightest sound wakes him up. Lazily got up, slowly came to the door, and opened the door. When he saw the person in front of him clearly, Kakashi frowned. In the middle of the night, Maeda-sama doesn't know what is going on with me. Before Ryuichi Maeda could speak, his man had already broken the door of the other three's room, directly. Although he said cruel things before, Kakashi is also a copy ninja, and it is easy to directly conflict by breaking into the door directly. It would be best if the problem could be solved without conflict, and if not, then Ryuichi Maeda would not show mercy. As for the few people under Kakashi, they were just a few little fart children, and they didn't need any respect at all. Sakura and Sasuke, who were woken up, had no idea what was going on. Both of them walked out of the room, intending to go to Kakashi's side, but were stopped by Ryuichi Maeda's men. Meanwhile, Naruto, who was originally lying in the room to sleep, has been escorted out. One of the ninjas, who was behind Ryuichi Maeda, stood up and immediately identified Maeda-sama. That's him. It was this guy who took Uzumaki Chuenjo and Uzumaki Xiangfo's away. Kakashi's expression did not change, but he looked indifferently at Naruto, who had been imprisoned. From the moment they went to eat, Kakashi knew that this was not really Naruto, but just a shadow doppelganger. He thought that Naruto's shadow doppelganger could cope with it until the end of his meal at most. Who knows, it's already late at night, and it's still there. As an elite shinobi of Konoha village, Kakashi possesses an extraordinary calmness. He still spoke lazily as usual. You said Naruto took the people of your Kusanagi village away? You can't go wrong. Blonde hair, blue eyes, even the clothes you wear. The ninja who watched Naruto take the mother and daughter away was so identified. Without waiting for Kakashi to speak, Sakura, who was standing in the distance, immediately took a step forward, and she said, "You must have recognized the wrong person. Naruto has always been with us. How could he possibly take away the people of your Kusanagi village?" Sasuke looked at Naruto, who was imprisoned with a serious expression. At this time, Naruto seemed to have something wrong. If Naruto was caught, he would definitely not react at all, let alone even struggle. Episode 82. Kakashi followed Sakura's words and said with a smile, "Sakura is right, Naruto has always been with us. No matter what you say he did to kill and set fire, it was something out of nothing." Ryuichi Maeda glanced at Sakura, and then his eyes fell on Kakashi. "I don't believe that you, as a replica ninja, can't see that your student is just a shadow doppelganger?" "What?" Sakura was a little surprised. Sasuke's eyes widened even more. He couldn't believe that this Naruto in front of him was just a shadow doppelganger. But since when? Ryuichi Maeda's eagle-like eyes stared closely at Naruto's shadow doppelganger, and then he raised his hand, and a kunai was thrown directly in Naruto's direction. "Naruto, be careful!" Sakura shouted from the sidelines. It doesn't matter if this Naruto in front of him is a shadow doppelganger or not. If not, then isn't Naruto going to be hurt? Bang! When that Kumu attacked Naruto, the shadow doppelganger was instantly cracked. For a moment, the scene became very silent. The corridor of the hotel was long, it was late at night, but it was very dimly lit. The lights hit the faces of several people, making the atmosphere weird. Unexpectedly. Is it really a shadow doppelganger? When, Naruto, he never went out after eating with us. She had been paying attention to Naruto's movements, and if Naruto was out, how could she not know? Ryuichi Maeda's gaze was locked on Kakashi, and his tone was particularly serious. "If I'm not mistaken, from the time you left the hotel to eat, the kid who followed you was just a doppelganger. I also heard that this afternoon, a ninja from Kusanagi village saved Uzumaki Kakuro. Presumably that ninja from Kusanagi village is Kakashi's subordinate, right? When you came to look for Vortex Spring Geo today, I felt that something was wrong with you. It seems that my intuition is not wrong at all. I just don't know. Our Kusanagi village has never been separated from you, Konoha. Why did you come to our Kusanagi village to rob people?" Kakashi, who had been hunched over and could fall asleep at any moment, straightened his back, walked out of the room, and stood in the hallway. Looking at the ninjas led by Ryuichi Maeda, if there were only such a few ninjas, it would not be difficult to break through. It's just that Maeda Takashi has already appeared, and there will definitely not be only such a few people. Even though he is a copy ninja, chakra is limited and simply cannot cope with too many people. After all, ants can bite an elephant to death. As long as there are enough of them. It is not easy to rely on him alone. Besides, he also brought a Sasuke and Shao, because of Naruto. The two have never formally trained him, with limited strength. When the time comes, he will deal with these people and protect these two people. It hurts to think about it. Kakashi withdrew his thoughts and spoke slowly. Maeda-sama must have misunderstood. This time he came to Kusanagi village just to send something, and he definitely didn't mean to rob people. As for why Naruto only left a shadow doppelganger, this is me training him to control chakra. It seems that his chakra is very well controlled, and neither Sakura nor Sasuke found out that it was just a shadow doppelganger who ate with them. Ryuichi Maeda was not a fool, naturally knew that Kakashi was lying. He was just trying to defend the blonde teenager. He put his hands on his back, his eyebrows were annoyed. "Kakashi, I have a good relationship with my Kusanagi village in Konoha village, so I want to entertain you, but you better not do anything to annoy us. For the sake of your subordinates, I cannot pursue the three of you, but you must hand over the blonde boy. Otherwise, none of you will want to leave." Sakura was no longer afraid to speak. She simply followed Kakashi-sensei to find Naruto. "I thought that after resting overnight in Kusanagi village, I would be able to set off and return to Konoha village. But now, it's in big trouble?" Sasuke's eyes were slightly calm, and his thoughts about Naruto changed again. He knew that Naruto was not in Konoha village during this time, and his strength had been greatly improved. Naruto left a shadow doppelganger in Konoha village that no one found, and now he still disappeared in front of them by the same means. The point is, Naruto actually broke through the siege of these people with the two? Otherwise, why did they come here to look for Naruto? That must not be found, will come here. Naruto, it's not the crane tail of the old days. Even with such threats, Kakashi still looked indifferent. Although I also want to hand people over, but I'm really sorry, I don't know where Naruto went, or else, let's help you find it. If I find it, how about giving it to you? Of course, this is all a lie. He could already see it from the time Naruto used the shadow avatar to deceive everyone. The reason why he didn't reveal it was that he acquiesced to what Naruto had done. Naturally, it would not poke through what Naruto was going to do now. Ryuichi Maeda didn't speak at all. I saw Kakashi take a step forward, which made Takashi Maeda nervous for a moment. If they really want to fight, they may not have an advantage. Kakashi. What are you doing? Don't worry, I'm not leaving, I'm just saying a few words to my lovely subordinates. He came to Sakura and Sasuke as if he were a nobody, and put his hands on Sakura and Sasuke's shoulders, respectively. And he whispered with a smile, you two go first, I'll take care of the aftermath. Sakura and Sasuke both looked at Kakashi at the same time. Kakashi still looked relaxed and kept his voice extremely low. If you go first, I can support for a while, if you stay here, I will have a lot of trouble. Although he also wanted to make this an experience for the two, it was too advanced. Maeda Ryuichi is also the leader of Kusanagi village, naturally not an ordinary ninja. Since Uzumaki Izumi and Uzumaki Kazumi are so important to Kusanagi village, the ninjas brought by Ryuichi Maeda must not be easy to deal with. The ninjas who remained outside were relatively easy to deal with, and he believed that Sakura and Sasuke could. So the two of them have to get out of here first. Sasuke frowned and said stubbornly, I'm not going to run away just like that, Kakashi-sensei, don't underestimate me, he was the first in this group. Naruto can break away from the hands of so many ninjas, and so can he. He won't lose to Naruto. Episode 83, Sakura on the side was actually very scared, but looking at Sasuke next to him like this. She had courage in her heart, she was also a member of the 7th class, and she definitely couldn't leave here. I saw Sakura's expression become serious, staring closely at Ryuichi Maeda and the others. Kakashi-sensei, if you and Sasuke-kun are going to stay here, I won't leave. To go, let's go together. Such a response did not expect Kakashi. Kakashi didn't stop anymore, but smiled and said, since you are so persistent, then you have to behave well, if you really start later, I don't have time to take care of you. Sakura was ready. Her legs were firmly on the ground, and there was stubbornness in her eyes. Kakashi-sensei, don't worry, we will take good care of ourselves. That's good. Kakashi smiled, but Sakura, you need to be careful, Sasuke, you help take care of Sakura. He knew that Sasuke's strength was above Sakura, and now that Naruto was gone, only Sasuke could protect Sakura during the melee. Sasuke replied softly. That. Kakashi-sensei, was it really Naruto who took the people of Kusanagi village away? Sakura asked. Kakashi paused slightly and smiled, it should be, how so? Why did Naruto take people away? As for the reason, Kakashi did not know. But since Naruto did this, naturally he had a reason. This matter, I'll talk about it later, I have to leave from here first, if you break through first, go to Naruto immediately, he alone is much more dangerous than the three of us. This was a concern for Kakashi. If Ryuichi Maeda knew Naruto's whereabouts and sent someone to chase and kill, he would naturally not come to him to ask for someone. But what if Ryuichi Maeda did it on purpose? Just delaying himself to save Naruto is also possible. So the safest thing is to find Naruto as soon as possible. After all, Naruto was also his own student. You too, be careful. Kakashi instructed. Sakura and Sasuke both nodded in response. The three discussed in a low voice, but Ryuichi Maeda did not say anything to stop it. Until the three stopped talking, Ryuichi Maeda sneered, Kakashi, are you planning to take your two subordinates and fight so many of us? Do you really think that you are a copy ninja and invincible in the world? Kakashi straightened up and said with a smile on his face, how do you know if you don't try? And I don't want to be left in Kusanagi village by you, if you let us go now, you can avoid a war. Ryuichi Maeda calmed his eyes, and his fists were tightly clenched together. Kakashi, are you declaring war on me? It is clear that you declared war first, and you also led people to surround it first, didn't you? Are you sure you want to maintain the one you want to maintain? Naruto is my student, as a teacher, I can't leave him alone. Rumble. Takashi Maeda stepped heavily on the ground one by one. In an instant, the cement floor was instantly stepped out of a pit. At this time, the clerk who was guarding the front desk had already shrunk into a ball. Usually, at this time, he only needs to guard for a while, before he can go to rest. But just now, Ryuichi Maeda rushed upstairs with a group of ninjas, and now there was such a big movement. He only felt a sense of foreboding. The ninja who was guarding below glanced up and felt a slight vibration just now. Has Maeda-sama already fought with that replica ninja? Maeda-sama said, no matter what movement is up there, we just need to stay here. These words were clearly heard by the store manager. It seems that these people are going to fight in his shop? Maeda-sama did it himself, so can he still ask for his shop? Compared to this, his own little life seems to be threatened. If he continues to stay here, he will definitely be implicated. Swallowing his saliva, the store manager secretly packed all his money, and then took advantage of the ninja's lack of attention and sneaked away. As long as the money is brought with him, if his shop is not destroyed, he can make a comeback. If by the time he returns, the shop is gone, then he can only come again. Although heartbreaking. But it's better than losing your life. The ninjas naturally saw the shop owner running away, but they didn't care. The shop owner is just an insignificant person, it doesn't matter if he walks or not. At the same time, the atmosphere upstairs was extremely condensed. Ryuichi Maeda and Kakashi are locked in a confrontation. Stay upstairs. Including Ryuichi Maeda, there are 10 ninjas in total. Ryuichi Maeda and the other 6 are Kami Shinobu, and the remaining 3 are Naka Shinobu. 6 Kami Shinobi and Maeda Ryuichi directly surrounded Kakashi, and the other 3 Naka Shinobi dealt with Sakura and Sasuke together. Now that Sakura and Sasuke's strength is far from enough, it can be said that it is extremely difficult to deal with the 3 Naka Shinobi. The 3 Naka Shinobi also seemed to look down on the 2 imps Sasuke and Sakura. It was there that Sasuke and Sakura were mocked. Little devils, if you are afraid of death, surrender now, we will not kill children. Of course, these are the words of a liar. It was just to mock Sakura and Sasuke's weakness. Sakura looked at the 3 Naka Shinobi, and before she made a move, she had already felt the murderous aura on the 3 people. This made her legs a little weak, and she was very afraid of such a scene. The shuriken was tightly held in his hand, but his fingertips were exceptionally cold. Sasuke cut off, don't underestimate me, since Naruto is so powerful. He would definitely not lose to Naruto, let alone back down at such a time. Seeing Sasuke rushing up, but the 3 Naka Shinobi stood there indifferently, without meaning to make a move. Of the 3, the most troublesome was Kakashi. So most people go to deal with Kakashi, as for these 2 imps, you just need to control them. In their opinion, these 2 imps are far from their opponents. Sasuke ran quickly, holding the kunai in his hand, and the unclean dust was carried by his footsteps. Brush brush brush. The wind-like sound, accompanied by several muffled snorts. All 3 fell to the ground, and all 3 were hit to the point. Sasuke-kun. That's awesome. For a moment, Sakura seemed to come to her senses. Because Sasuke actually killed those 3 Naka Shinobi? But Sasuke himself was stunned in place, and the kunai in his hand did not touch the 3 Naka Shinobi, let alone stained with blood. But the 3 Naka ninja really lay on the ground. It was Kuwu who pierced their vital part, but not Kuwu in his hands. Episode 84, Sudden Situation. Ryuichi Maeda and Kakashi, who had not yet made a move, looked at the 3 ninjas who had fallen to the ground almost at the same time. Move your gaze to the left again. I saw a blonde boy slowly walking up. As soon as he raised his hand, all the kunai that had been stabbed on the 3 Naka Shinobi returned to Naruto's hands. But there is only one. Because the other 2 are just Kumu shadow avatars, Naruto is proficient in multiple shadow avatars, and it is not difficult to use Kuno shadow avatars. Maeda-senpai, what you are looking for should be me, right? Naruto stepped forward slowly. The footsteps are calm that does not match his age. Ryuichi Maeda's eyes widened. Sakura and Sasuke didn't know that those 2 were Naka Shinobu, but he knew. A little fart kid who easily killed 3 middle ninjas? Besides, Naruto still came up the stairs. There are a lot of ninjas guarding the bottom. How did he get up? And there is no movement at all. You, how did you get up? I clearly sent someone to guard below. Ryuichi Maeda was puzzled, he questioned. Naruto played with the kunai in his hand, with a hint of mockery in his mouth. Since I can take the mother and daughter away, it means that these ninjas in your Kusanagi village can't stop me at all. Just the few downstairs, don't even try to stop me. At this time, all the ninjas who were originally guarding below had been killed by Naruto. These include some middle patients, but most of them are still low patients. How easy it is to deal with. Sasuke was still in a state of stunned. He didn't make a move, but Naruto had already killed 3 Naka shinobi. What kind of strength is this? Kakashi was also shocked, although he knew that Naruto had improved a lot. But unexpectedly, his strength has far exceeded that of Xiaoren. However, he quickly came to his senses and said with a smile, Naruto, you have become really good now, but how did you come back? Since they are all gone, coming back is naturally more dangerous. Naruto remained calm. He glanced at Sakura and Sasuke, then at Kakashi, and said, after all, my companion and teacher are still here, I can't run away, and I have to solve the matter in Kusanagi village, otherwise, if they go to find trouble with Xianfasu mother and daughter in the future, it will give me a headache. That's the point. He does not allow the so-called hidden dangers to exist. What needs to be done now is naturally to subdue these people. Let them not dare to hit the idea of Whirlpool Incense Phosphorus and Whirlpool Spring Geo. Naruto's arrogance made Takashi Maeda 10,000. So many of his subordinates were easily by a little ghost, and he was an extremely important tool in Kusanagi village. This is simply challenging Kusanagi village. Hit in the face like this by a ghost. Who can stand it? This imp must be severely punished. He didn't even care about Kakashi standing in front of him, only to see the rapid seal in his hand, and he roared, Tsukiyu Tsuchi Great River. In an instant, the concrete floor under Naruto's feet instantly turned into a liquid and flowed directly into a large river. Maeda Ryuichi's hand did not stop, and he shouted again, Tudu Huangsanuma, now. The cement under Naruto's feet instantly turned into a huge swamp. If it were against an ordinary enemy, I am afraid that the enemy would have fallen into this huge swamp and lost its ability to act. It's just that he is facing Naruto, and it is impossible to solve Naruto easily. Naruto controlled the chakra in his body and then covered the chakra all over his body. Bang! A punch straight to the ground cement. The chakra, which was originally covering the whole body, burst out with powerful air currents, and instantly broke the Tudu and Huangquan marsh. Ryuichi Maeda's eyes widened, unable to believe it was real. This little devil actually broke his own ninjutsu. And it's just a punch. What kind of ninjutsu does he use? Strange. Strange power? Kakashi was really amazed by Naruto's strength. This is not some kind of ninjutsu, but the ability of the Senju family. Those who can use this ability are the first Hokage, the second Hokage, and Tsunade-sama. I didn't expect Tsunade-sama to give such an ability to Naruto. It seems that during this time, Naruto has learned a lot. It stands to reason that Naruto didn't have long to leave Konoha village, but he had managed to mechanicate monsters to such a point in such a short time. One punch cracked Ryuichi Maeda's ninjutsu. This is not something that ordinary people can do. After Maeda Ryuichi was surprised, he came back to his senses. He would definitely not let Naruto go. It's just a little ghost, how could he, as the leader of the Kusanagi village, not be able to defeat such a little ghost? Tudu and Tulon Lance. Sharp rocks appeared on the concrete floor in an instant. This ninjutsu, he didn't believe that Naruto could still break it. This time, Naruto did not use strange power, but jumped up easily. It's not that you can't use strange powers. Instead, he plans to use other methods to teach this Maeda Ryuichi how to behave. In the process of jumping, for a moment, I saw Naruto's body surrounded by a huge red chakra. That sense of oppression directly filled the entire hotel. Even Kakashi felt a threat like never before. Is it? Kakashi immediately lifted his forehead, revealing his chakra eye. He wanted to see clearly what Naruto's strength was now. I saw that the red chakra wrapped around Naruto seemed to have life, and gradually formed a fox-like coat. In addition, Naruto's 2 upper teeth became like wolf fangs, his eyes became scarlet, and his nails became much longer. When he landed, Ryuichi Maeda's Tsukiyu dragon spear was completely shattered by his chakra, and all that remained was the destroyed ground. Good second floor. It has been defeated out of a big hole. Naruto landed on all fours, and the tail formed by the condensation of red chakra constantly flicked. At this time, he did not look like a human at all, but transformed into a brutal fox. Ryuichi Maeda has never felt such a terrifying chakra. He has secretly learned ninjutsu from many countries and seen many powerful ninjas, but he has never faced such a powerful chakra person. And the other party is just a 12-year-old boy. That sense of pressure made his legs a little unable to take a step. Everyone else could feel the death-like chakra and air pressure, but Kakashi also saw the existence of the nine-tailed demon fox. Right behind Naruto, that abyss-like look looked at all of them. At this moment, everything around him seemed to be seen through by the nine-tailed demon fox, and even Kakashi stood there unable to move. This is the power of the 9 tails. Moreover, not all the power yet. Sasuke on the side was already so shocked that he couldn't speak. Episode 85, the people of the village said that Naruto was a monster. Now he really looks like a monster. But he is a very powerful monster, a monster with super strength. Sakura was still clutching the kunai in her hand, and her body was trembling. Is the person in front of you really Naruto? Uzumaki Chuanjio and Uzumaki Xiangfos are members of my Vortex clan, and you take them in on the surface, but in fact, you only treat them as lifeless tools. I took them away, and it was inevitable for me to do because I am also a member of the Uzumaki clan, and as long as Uzumaki Naruto exists, I will not allow anyone from the Uzumaki clan to be harmed. I'm coming back today to solve the troubles of you grass ninja villages, and to give me peace to the Uzumaki clan. Naruto's voice became much deeper due to the possession of the Nine-Tails Chakra. His voice echoed throughout the corridor of the hotel, and the doors of the other rooms were broken by Naruto's chakra. The remaining Shainin had shocked looks on their faces. This person is a ninja from Konoha village. Since he is Kakashi's subordinate, he is just a subordinate. But his strength is so arrogant? This is the strength of Konoha Murashita Shinobu? While everyone, including Maeda Ryuichi, held his breath, Naruto directly waved his hand and made a claw motion. The red chakra wrapped around his body, pulled out its long fox claws, and it attacked like a snake, aiming at Ryuichi Maeda. That claw seems to be the Grim Reaper sent by Naruto. Once hit by it, even if you don't die, you won't end well. Maeda Ryuichi was not frightened, and with a hard foot, he immediately stepped back, closing his distance from Naruto a lot. At the same time, the hand is sealed. The voice carried a bit of panic. Tudu and Tuliubi thundered. A dirt wall was erected in front of Ryuichi Maeda. This is a medium-level Tsukuden defensive ninjutsu that blocks opponents' moves. At this time, Kakashi's eyebrows sank slightly, and he didn't expect that Ryuichi Maeda would still have a dirt wall. It seems that Ryuichi Maeda did not learn the ninjutsu of other ninja villages. Bang! As soon as the earthen wall was erected, Naruto's red chakra flew up and directly pierced the earthen wall of Ryuichi Maeda. Kakashi was shocked and shouted as he froze, "Naruto, stop! He is the leader of Kusanagi village. Can't kill," thundered. Another loud bang. After Ryuichi Maeda's earthen wall was broken by Naruto, 3 more earthen walls appeared superimposed in front of Ryuichi Maeda. Although he let Naruto do that, this was Kusanagi village, and what Naruto took away was indeed the people of Kusanagi village. In any case, it is also their fault first. If you kill the leader of Kusanagi village, trouble will only happen one after another. Seeing that Kakashi began to meddle in this matter, Naruto's movements paused slightly. Kakashi breathed a sigh of relief, and he explained, "The matter between Izumi Uzumaki and her daughter, I will negotiate with Ryuichi Maeda, it will be fine. The premise is that Naruto can't kill the front." At this time, Naruto, who had become a tail, carried the violence belonging to the Nine-Tails from his bones. He's not that good at talking. I did this alone, it has nothing to do with you, and I hope Kakashi-sensei will not interfere in my affairs. If you have the strength, it is better to take Sakura and Sasuke out of Kusanagi village together. As for the future, you can rest assured that I will bear all the follow-up responsibilities alone. Big deal, he doesn't go back to Konoha village. It's time to go to Tsunade. Of course. He still had to go back to Konoha village to meet Hinata. But now, this Ryuichi Maeda must die. Since he wants to revive the Vortex clan, then his people have been violated, and these sinners must be punished. Sakura on the side was very worried, and she took a step forward, as if to say something. Kakashi only felt that Naruto seemed too impulsive, and he also wanted to persuade Naruto. Bang! 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 Rumble! There was a succession of explosive sounds, and Kakashi's dirt stream walls were all broken by Naruto. The stones exploded all over the sky, and Sakura screamed from the side, and she crawled directly to the ground. Sasuke also subconsciously blocked his eyes with his hand. Even Kakashi stood there steadily. The impact of that chakra is too great. If you are not careful, I am afraid that you will be knocked away. The dust was so thick that the second floor was almost completely collapsed, the walls of the other rooms were cracked, and the doors had long been reduced to debris. Ahem. You, how so? Strong. Ryuichi Maeda was still standing there, but the words were no longer spoken. The flying dust made it impossible to see his body, but only his face. At this time, his eyes were already a little sluggish. Poof. I saw him spurt out a mouthful of blood, and the blood soaked his clothes. The dust cleared. Finally saw Ryuichi Maeda's figure clearly, but his heart had already been pierced. The end is set. Ryuichi Maeda will surely die. Sakura on the ground looked up and saw Ryuichi Maeda's appearance behind him. Through the huge hole in his chest, Naruto standing in front of Ryuichi Maeda could be seen. She realized that Naruto was no longer the crane-tailed Naruto she once knew, but a brand new Naruto. Sasuke's heart was even more impacted. He is a genius boy, the first of this class of ninjas. But saw Naruto's power with his own eyes. He already understood that he was definitely no match for Naruto now. After leaving Konoha village for such a short time, did he actually grow to such a point? Kakashi's face was equally shocked when he saw everything in front of him. The 3 earth walls that his earth flow wall turned into were all broken by Naruto. Is this the power of the 9 tails? Bang! Ryuichi Maeda leaned forward and fell directly to the ground. At this moment, the whole world seemed to be quiet. Even the shinobi who followed Ryuichi Maeda didn't have any reaction. Maybe frightened. Frightened by Naruto's terrifying strength. Their Maeda-sama, killed. The leader is killed. Before they could react, Kakashi walked up to Ryuichi Maeda. Habitually probing his snort, he finally determined that Ryuichi Maeda was dead. He got up, pulled down his forehead, and covered the chakra eye. Finally, he sighed helplessly, "Hey, there's really no way, young and vigorous, I can't control my temper at all, trouble is coming again." Naruto's eyes fell on those Kusanagi Murakami Shinobu, and said coldly, "As I said, this matter has nothing to do with you, those people below have already been disposed of by me, so you want to go, take advantage of now." The words were spoken to Kakashi. Episode 86, if it was Kakashi, they would go. Naruto could have gone to Tsunade and lived a free life. But at that time, he will definitely abduct Hinata, and that day is beautiful. At this time, I saw Naruto slowly moving his steps and walking in front of the few upper shinobi. Since you want to kill, you naturally want to wipe out all the others. Anyway, they all killed the leader of a grass ninja village, it is better to kill a few more, saving a bunch of troubles later. Kakashi directly took out the kunai in his hand and lazily spoke, "You are my student, I know everything you do, although killing Ryuichi Maeda will have a lot of trouble, but as a teacher, I can only bear it with you. Moreover, we are besieged by these people from Kusanagi village, and we should resist, so this matter is not your fault, and I believe that the 3rd generation of Hokage-sama will not pursue us more." Naruto didn't seem to expect Kakashi to say such a thing. Although it was true that Takashi Maeda and his people besieged them, it was clear that Ryuichi Maeda did not really want to intercept Kakashi. After all, Kakashi is a replica ninja from Konoha village. If something happened to Kakashi in Kusanagi village, it would be a real trouble. A small Kusanagi village can't stand the attack from Konoha village. Kakashi didn't need to be involved in this matter. But now he chose to turn a blind eye, and even helped Naruto find the reason? This time, Sakura, who had been trembling with fear, immediately ran forward and mouthed, "Naruto, Kakashi-sensei is right, this matter has to be borne together, of course, we will bear it together." Sasuke also walked out and glanced at Naruto, "Humph, it's really a little ghost, do you still want to be alone at this time? No matter how powerful you are, can you deal with the ninjas of the entire Kusanagi village?" Although with a hint of mockery. But Sasuke also chose to side with Naruto. For Sasuke's character, Naruto certainly understood. He looks very cold on the outside, but he is a very soft person at heart. When dealing with the enemy, he generally does not kill. The only thing he wanted to kill in his heart was his brother Itachi. In the original book, Naruto and Sasuke formed an incomparably deep friendship, but the two had to take different paths in the end. But the bond between the two has never eased. At the end of the day, Sasuke was nothing more than a tsundere. Although he came to this world, he can be regarded as changing some things. However, these people who were originally there, their personalities have not changed at all. Although Sakura sometimes hates it, her feelings for her companions are absolutely sincere. Although Sasuke is arrogant, he has enthusiasm for his friends, but there is too much hatred in his heart. Kakashi hugged the affectionate heaven all day, but he came lazily, but he was an extremely reliable ninja. Otherwise, in the future, he will not be able to become a 6th generation Hokage. Naruto retracted his thoughts, and the chakra wrapped around his face gradually disappeared, as did his fangs and claws. Standing there at the moment, it was just an ordinary Naruto. "This time, it wasn't me who forced you, you volunteered." Sakura smiled brightly, "Of course. We are all voluntary." After seeing Naruto's terrifying strength, knowing why Naruto left Konoha village, and the details of his relationship with Naruto. Even if Sakura wanted to really ignore Naruto, it would be too difficult. Kakashi set his gaze on the few kami shinobi. When Takashi Maeda brought them here, he was supposed to deal with him, but Ryuichi Maeda had some scruples, so he didn't start at the beginning. In the end, Naruto came in time and they had not yet made more than half a move. I'm really sorry, in order to prove that we are in good defense, you witnesses can only accompany your leader. Kakashi is not a good person in his bones. When it's time to be ruthless, you have to be ruthless. Especially at this time. Naruto is his own student, and even more so, the son of his own teacher. Naruto had been blamed in the village, he knew about it, but he didn't help. It's not that he doesn't want to, it's just that he has been on missions all year round, and he doesn't have much time to stay in Konoha village, and he has a weak heart and can't take care of Naruto at all. Now that he is Naruto's teacher, he has to protect Naruto no matter what. Even if you kill a few people, you will not hesitate. Seeing Kakashi approaching step by step, several kami shinobi were already ready to resist. If you don't resist, you can only wait for death. The strength of the blonde boy just now, they all saw it in their eyes. That kind of strength is not the strength of shinobi at all. Directly killing their leader, how can it be just the strength of shinobi? A shinobi is so strong, let alone a copy ninja Kakashi. But there was a weak heart, and several people had already been frightened by the scene just now. They retreated again and even began to swallow. These Konoha ninjas, it's terrible. First time I felt. Being a ninja is so terrible. Besides, they are all Shonrin. Seeing that Kakashi was about to make a move, a young ninja standing in the middle stood up, stretched out his hand and said, Kakashi-sama. Please stop. Take my advice and let's sit down and have a good talk, meaning, don't do it. Kakashi was a negotiator, and if he wanted to, these people couldn't escape. And if Naruto really moves to kill, according to Naruto's ability now, these people will be difficult to fly. He put away the bitterness in his hand, stood in front of everyone and said, Talk? What to talk about? In what capacity are you talking to us? The young ninja in front of him was probably only in his early 20s. But he belongs to the upper shinobi of Kusanagi village. The young ninja swallowed. Obviously. He was already very nervous when he took the step, and saw him speak very respectfully. I'm Maeda-sama, no, I'm Kito Yamashita, Ryuichi Maeda's deputy. As soon as he changed his mouth, he changed the address of the adult to a name. Naruto listened and thought it was a little interesting. He looked the young ninja up and down, waiting for what he said next. Actually, from the beginning, I couldn't get used to what Ryuichi Maeda did, and it was a very good thing to put the mother and daughter of Uzumaki Izumi as tools in Kusanagi village. I want to pull Ryuichi Maeda from the position of leader, but my strength is not as good as Ryuichi Maeda, since I am Ryuichi Maeda's former deputy. Now that Ryuichi Maeda is dead, our Kusanagi village naturally needs a new leader. As long as you support me as the leader of Kusanagi village, I can assure you that today's incident should not have happened, and as for Maeda Ryuichi's death, it was just an accident. And the mother and daughter of Uzumaki Izumi were completely released by our Kusanagi village on their own initiative, and it has nothing to do with you, and Kusanagi village will definitely continue to maintain good relations with Konoha village in the future. Episode 8. After speaking, Yamashita Kito nervously squeezed his fist in his hand. If you really want to fight, you definitely can't fight. Instead of dying, it is better to surrender. The Fire Nation is one of the 5 great powers, and if the relationship with Konoha village is frozen, the life of Kusanagi village will definitely be difficult in the future. So, this is the best solution. But whether these people will agree or not, that's another story. Kakashi looked at the young ninja in front of him, and felt a little admiration for his courage and such thoughts. In order to save himself and the village, sacrifice a Ryuichi Maeda. Here's one way to do it. He nodded, your method is good, but what if you regret it? Yamashita Kito wiped the sweat from his forehead, and he continued, Kakashi-sama, you also saw that before you could make a move, our leader was already dead, and if you followed suit, we would not be your opponents at all. To put it bluntly, we just wanted to live. You can see it. The Yamashita Kito in front of him was really afraid of Kakashi, and afraid of Naruto. That's right. After Kakashi finished speaking, he looked at Naruto, what do you think? How about this workaround? The matter arose because of Naruto, and Kakashi naturally needed to ask Naruto's thoughts, not making up his own mind because he was an adult. Naruto's expression moved slightly, not expecting Kakashi to ask him what he meant. After a pause, he said directly, yes, it's not early now, and I want to rest early. Said and looked around. The hotel has been almost destroyed, and there is no place to rest. Yamashita Jingu hurriedly stepped forward and said with a smile on his face, I'll find someone to arrange a new place for you to live. It's just that the other few Shainin couldn't stand it, and directly called Yamashita Jingu. Hey! Yamashita! Aren't you doing this too much? Maeda-sami just died, exactly. Hello, you are Mayada-sama's deputy. And now surrender like this? Yamashita Kido, who had originally treated Kakashi and Naruto's flattery, glanced back at them and said angrily with a full aura, "There's no part of you talking here. From now on, I am already the leader of Kusanagi village, and I have to listen to all future arrangements." The other Shainin were obviously not convinced, and they all took a few steps forward. Yamashita. Don't be too arrogant. Mayada-sama is dead, and it won't be your turn to be the leader. Yamashita Jingu is not afraid of them at all, and even a little more arrogant. If you win against me, come and challenge me at any time, and I will be there at any time. At this time, those few upper ninja no longer dared to squeak. The reason why Yamashita Kido is Mayada Ryuichi's deputy is because of his strength. Although he is young, he is a genius ninja in Kusanagi village. Already in his early 20s, he was already a shinobi, and at the same time became Ryuichi Mayada's deputy. Everyone knows that the strength of Yamashita Kido is comparable to Ryuichi Mayada, and it is definitely not an ordinary color. If you really want to choose a leader, in the current Kusanagi village, I am afraid that only Yamashita Jingu can do it. A few people can be said to dare to be angry and dare not speak. In addition, Yamashita Kido is already determined to surrender, and if he really wants to take the throne, he may fight them with these Konoha ninjas. The final outcome is that they must die. Seeing that several people did not speak, the mountain scenery was low again. If it's okay, go down and dispose of all those corpses. Everyone hesitated for a moment, and finally helplessly, they still chose to follow the arrangement of Jingu under the mountain. One of them was going to dispose of Ryuichi Mayada's body, but Yamashita Kido said, "Ryuichi Mayada, you don't have to care, you just need to deal with the others." Several people looked at each other, did not dare to refute, and still did so. Took the ninja upstairs except Ryuichi Mayada away. When I went downstairs, everyone was shocked. The ninjas who were originally guarding the first floor have all been killed, and none of them are alive. They can imagine who did such a heartless thing. It's the blonde boy. His strength is really terrifying. While everyone was surprised, they immediately disposed of the corpses on the ground. Still upstairs under the mountain, Kido stood beside Kakashi and Naruto with a smile. "It's not early, I'll take you to rest." Without waiting for Naruto to speak, Kakashi spoke first. "No need, I see that the sky will also be light, let's go directly to Konoha village, we have already delayed a lot of time." Naruto thought the same way. After all, the mother and daughter of Xiangfos are still on the way, and they must join them as soon as possible. Since Kakashi said so, Yamashita Kido naturally would not keep it. Sakura and Sasuke also obeyed Kakashi's arrangement. Yamashita Kido stretched out his hand and made a gesture of invitation. "Then I will send you out of the village. In the future, if you have the opportunity, you can often come to our Kusanagi village to play." Several people went downstairs together, and those upper shinobi were still disposing of the corpse. Look at the sky again, it's pitch black. It was the darkness before dawn. Counting the time, in less than an hour, it was almost dawn. Kakashi glanced at the dilapidated inn, and he asked, "Really don't care about your former leader?" Yamashita Kido glanced at the hotel, and there was an elusive light in his eyes. Bang! The signboard of the hotel fell to the ground, making the silent night more eerie. A moment later, I saw the seal in the hand of the Yamashita Jingu, to an earth dragon lance, thundered. Sharp rocks rose from the ground of the hotel, smashing the already crumbling hotel to pieces in an instant. As for Ryuichi Mayada, who was still lying inside, he was naturally buried by the ruins. When a foreign enemy suddenly invades, Mayada-sama sacrificed his life to protect Kusanagi village, and everyone in Kusanagi village will show him as a hero, and I will pay tribute to him every day. As for those foreign enemies, they have all been killed by Mayada-sama, and our Kusanagi village will also usher in short-term security. After speaking, Yamashita Kido looked at Kakashi. "Kakashi-sama, what do you think?" These words made Kakashi slightly stunned, and he couldn't help but chuckle. The new leader of Kusanagi village is really not an ordinary person. Naruto glanced at this Yamashita Kido a few more times. It has to be said. Yamashita Kido is the material of the block as a leader. The person who knows the time is Junjie, and he is the one who knows the time. Yamashita Kido smiled and said, "Kakashi-sama has passed the prize." Kakashi didn't talk much with Kido Yamashita, but looked at his three students. "Things are settled, you can finally go back, you shouldn't be sleepy, right?" Who would feel sleepy when something so horrible happened? Sakura shook her head. "Kakashi-sensei, let's go now, let's hurry back to Konoha village. The outside world is really dangerous." However, fortunately, there is Naruto. As an enemy, his strength is too terrifying. But as a companion, it makes people feel extremely relieved. Kakashi beckoned and said to Yamashita Kido, see you again when you have a chance. Okay, I hope we can meet again in the future. Yamashita Kido watched the four-leaf Kusanagi village. Episode 89. If I don't go to see Naruto-sama, I'm afraid the matter will be even more serious. Kakashi on the side answered. The mother and daughter, who were originally interested in everything in Konoha village, couldn't help but worry. Uzumaki Izumi frowned slightly, and she said, if my stay with Konoha village will cause trouble for Naruto-kun, then let's go. Before Naruto could speak, Kakashi smiled and said, it's okay, it's all already here, so I won't drive you away, and besides, Naruto won't let you go. Naruto nodded directly, since I brought you here, of course I won't let you go. If I have to go, then the three of us will go together, he said. To revitalize the Whirlpool family, do what you say. Since he saved the mother and daughter of Xiangfos, of course, he would not leave it alone. Sasuke didn't speak the whole time, as if he was not interested in all of their decisions. Of course, under normal circumstances, his personality is inherently indifferent and he will not consider other irrelevant matters. Finally, led by Kakashi, the six went to the Hokage's office together. The office was cleaned up, except for a lot of papers on Naruto-sama's desk. It can be seen that there is a lot of work for the purpose of 3 generations. When he saw the Kakashi 6, he had no entourage by his side. The entire office, plus him, is only 7 people. Sandaime lit the pipe in his hand. Taking a deep breath, his eyes scanned the 6 people in front of him through the brim of his hat. It seems that this time you didn't just bring Naruto back. Kakashi, as the leading teacher, immediately stood up and explained, saying, Naruto-sama, the 2 of them are Uzumaki Izumi and Uzumaki Kakashi. This time we passed by Kusanagi village, and for a reason, we brought these 2 back. The reason for this has not been explained. When the 3 generations heard the 2 words of Uzumaki, there was a sudden look of surprise in their eyes. I didn't look carefully just now, but I officially looked at 2 people at this time. Red hair, which is indeed a sign of belonging to the Uzumaki family. Putting down the pipe in his hand, his expression began to become serious. It turned out to be so, it turned out to be from the Vortex family. Immediately fell his gaze on Naruto, only to hear the old voice of the 3rd generation slowly say, so, you brought the 2 of them back? Yes. Naruto replied and added, since Grandpa Naruto asked Kakashi-sensei to lead the team to retrieve me, he must not want me to leave Konoha village, and if Grandpa Naruto wants to keep me in Konoha village, he also wants to allow the 2 of them to stay in Konoha village. Naruto was not someone waiting to be assigned. He knew how important he was to Konoha. Of course. It's not that Naruto is important, because the 9 tails in his body are compared. In this village. For many. Naruto was nothing more than a container for the 9 tails. However, when Naruto said these words, everyone on the side was shocked. Even Kakashi didn't expect Naruto to say something akin to a threat. No matter what. Naruto was nothing more than a shinobi. Speaking to Hokage like this was too rude after all. Sandaime's expression became a little stern. I felt that Naruto had become a little different before. This time I left Konoha village and came back, and it seemed to be a little tougher than before. Even though Naruto still called him Grandpa Naruto in his mouth, he lacked much of his previous closeness. Himself as a Hokage. However, Naruto lost respect for himself in his words. Sakura watched from the sidelines, and she noticed that there was a slight change in Myome's mood. She was afraid that the 3 generations would be angry, and hurriedly stood up and explained, Grandpa Naruto, in fact, Naruto didn't mean that, he just finally met his family, that's why he wanted to keep Kokoto mother and daughter around, he definitely didn't mean to disrespect you. Myome withdrew his gaze, and his gaze fell on Sakura again. In the beginning, it was he who put Sakura, Sasuke, and Naruto in the same class. Naruto is the Nine-Tails pillar force. Being ostracized by the people of the village since childhood is an important tool for Konoha village. Sasuke, the only survivor of the Uchiha clan, witnessed the extermination of the entire clan, and was very withdrawn and full of hatred in his heart. As for Sakura, she is much more ordinary than these 2, but she is very intelligent and can be regarded as a kind of conciliator between the 2. Think so. Sandaime put his pipe aside and folded his hands on the table. Those eyes seemed to penetrate everyone. Especially when looking at Naruto, his eyes were particularly stern. Naruto, this time you left Konoha village privately, I was going to punish you severely, but for your sake of being young and naughty, this matter is over. As for Uzumaki Izumi and Uzumaki Kazu, you are all from the Uzumaki clan, and the Uzumaki clan and my Konoha had a deep friendship at the beginning, but the Uzumaki clan was destroyed during the Second Ninja World War, and it is rare to meet people from the Uzumaki clan. Even if you don't say it, I will let the two stay in Konoha village and give them the best care, so you don't have to worry. When Sandaime said these words, Sakura couldn't help but breathe a sigh of relief. Fortunately, Grandpa Naruto's temper is good. Otherwise, Naruto would really be punished, and I don't know how serious it was. Uzumaki Chuenjo, who was listening behind him, also breathed a sigh of relief. Even Naruto-sama relaxed, indicating that she and her daughter could really live in Konoha village. Although she has only been here for a short time, she can be sure that she and Keiko will definitely have a new life in Konoha village. Moreover, there was Naruto by his side. In the future, they will not be bullied again. Kakashi was also secretly relieved. Fortunately, Naruto-sama did not pursue too deeply. Thanks to Naruto, this guy is the Nine-Tails Pillar Force. And he didn't do anything to betray Konoha when he left the village, otherwise, Naruto-sama would definitely not have stopped there. Naruto glanced at the three generations of Hokage one more time. In his opinion, I am afraid that the three generations of Hokage are not completely concerned about the relationship between Konoha and the Uzumaki clan. Perhaps there is another reason, because of the special ability of the Vortex family. After all, the three generations are the people who sit in the position of Hokage, and the supreme power in Konoha village is naturally different from the others. But it doesn't matter, just let the mother and daughter stay in Konoha for the time being. Before the Naka Shinobi exam, Konoha village was still safe. Then first, you can all go, Kakashi stays. Kakashi stood to the side, still looking lazy, but he knew why Naruto-sama wanted to leave him behind. Episode 90, hearing the words of the three generations, Naruto left the Hokage office directly. After walking out of the office, Sakura glanced back as she walked, and she asked curiously, why did Grandpa Naruto leave Kakashi-sensei behind? Is it the release of 10 new tasks? Sasuke didn't say anything, just quickened his pace and left the Hokage office building. Naruto didn't respond to Sakura's question either, just left with Keiko Phosphorus mother and daughter. This atmosphere made Sakura embarrassed for a while. At least someone responds to themselves, right? Although the three of them were not part of the same team before, they were all students of the ninja school at the beginning. Sasuke is cold by nature, does not like to talk, and does not respond to himself. Naruto didn't even give her any response? Thinking about it, Sakura felt like she had been left out in the cold. She pursed her lips gently, and she caught up directly with Naruto. Naruto. Why don't you ignore me and me? Naruto had an indifferent expression. I still have business, I don't have time to chat with you. What can you do? You don't have a family in Konoha village, and you will be alone when you go back, or will you eat together in the evening? Sakura's warm invitation made Naruto a little surprised. But he directly refused. No, Xiangfos and Izumijio have just arrived in Konoha village. I have to take them to familiarize themselves with the environment here, and take them home by the way. Naruto's attitude was resolute, and Sakura had to give up. She stood there looking at Naruto's back with a look of some chagrin. Really, when did Naruto become even more difficult to get along with than Sasuke? Although Naruto used to be a crane tail, he would definitely not be so cold. Sakura pursed her lips. The little hand unconsciously grabbed the corner of his clothes, and finally he could only turn around and go home alone. Meanwhile, Hokage's office looked extremely serious. The three generations of Hokage did not speak, but just picked up the pipe again. Kakashi stood in front of his desk, looking seriously at the three generations of Hokage, waiting for his question. After a long time, Sandaime spoke, you should know why I left you alone. Presumably Naruto-sama wants to know something about Naruto's departure from Konoha village. That's right, it's just a guess, but I think Naruto seems to be very different this time than before. Whether it is the way he speaks, or his personality, or his strength, may also change. Kakashi pondered for a moment, and finally explained the matter, and said directly, originally, I thought Naruto was from Konoha village, but this time when we found Naruto, we met Tsunade-sama, and we were traveling with Naruto, and in addition, the adult also took Naruto as her apprentice. Hearing Tsunade's name, Mio's eyes widened, and his eyes shocked to look at Nishi. He couldn't believe that after all these years, he had heard this name again. You mean? Did you come across? She seems to have a good relationship with Naruto, and Tsunade-sama said that she took Naruto away from Konoha village. Mio's expression became serious, and he put his pipe down and snorted. This is just Tsunade's excuse for Naruto. For Tsunade, Konoha village is a painful place, and she can't return to Konoha village for a Naruto. Kakashi was silent, thinking he could fool him. You don't have to be afraid, since I said that I will not be held accountable, naturally I will not punish Naruto separately. After a moment, Kakashi continued, yes, Naruto has been isolated in Konoha village for a long time, so he fled Konoha village and has no other thoughts. So that's the case, and that's understandable. After speaking, the three generations pondered for a long time, and a strange light flashed in their eyes, like an eagle in the night. Finally, the voice slowly came out of the throat. What about the 9 tails in Naruto's body? Kakashi paused, hesitated a little, and then told what had happened in Kusanagi village. Of course, there was also Naruto Ikkyo's story that was also said. After hearing this, Sandame's face became very serious. His eyes were much cloudy, as if he was thinking about something, and he didn't say a word. I don't know how long it took, the voice of the third generation came out, only to hear him slowly say, so that's the case, it's just a Kusanagi village, it's not scary, and you've all solved it, but Naruto can control the power of the 9 tails like this, I really didn't expect it. Naruto's ability to control Ichigo was too surprising and shocking. Kakashi's expression was equally serious. Kusanagi village, Naruto's picture of Ikkyo, firmly imprinted in his heart. If I hadn't seen it with my own eyes, I wouldn't have believed that Naruto would have been able to control the power of the 9 tails to this point. The one who should come will always come, but you have to be more careful in the future. Yes. Kakashi responded. The three generations folded their hands, their eyebrows were slightly heavy, and they lowered their voices and said, Tianzong, yes, Naruto-sama. The one who speaks appears almost with the voice. Standing beside Kakashi, dressed in the dark part of Konoha's hidden village, his face was covered by a white flower face mask. This is a mask unique to the dark part. The mask of each dark person will be more or less different. In addition, the person who came was carrying a knife behind his back, and there were many bandages wrapped around the handle. Although he couldn't see his face, his brown hair could see it clearly, standing next to Kakashi, a little shorter than him. Seeing the other party's appearance, Kakashi was not surprised. Just staring at each other, he lazily spoke, Yo, it's Tianzo, if it is now. If Naruto was present, he would definitely recognize Tenzo, who is the future leader of the new Kakashiban, Yamato. Yes, Kakashi-senpai. Tianzong said very respectfully. At this time, Sandame said, you are also old acquaintances, I will not say anything about the introduction, and then you two have the same task, which is to watch Naruto. Kakashi watches Naruto as Naruto's teacher in the open, while Tenzo keeps an eye on his movements in the dark, and if Naruto's 9-tailed power gets out of control, you suppress it with Kidenjutsu. Yes, Naruto-sama. The two answered in unison. After the sermon, Tenzo instantly disappeared into Hokage's office, while Kakashi walked out leisurely. The two left not long ago. Sandame did not let down his guard, but said very seriously, there is no one left, you can come out, Tuanzo. Humph, it seems that you are not old, and you actually discovered my existence. _